Today, pork ribs Italian style with pasta, of course. Very different than the American ribs, but just as tasty, and they're headlining my menu today. Pork ribs served on the bone with skillet cauliflower sautéed with garlic and peperoncino. And then pork rib guazzetto, the same pork but off the bone, served with rigatoni. All that and a guest who is equally at home with American ribs as well as Italian ribs, my sous chef Cody Hogan at our restaurant Lidia's in Kansas City. Coming up right now here at Lidia's Family Table. Buongiorno, I'm Lidia Bastianich and welcome to Lidia's Family Table. And today we are doing pork ribs. I love pork ribs. I love them because they're very flavorful. And I will show you how to do them Italian style. But I also like them American style. And here's somebody that really knows about pork ribs American style. Cody Hogan. Welcome, Cody.
Thank you.
Cody is a wonderful sous chef at our restaurant, Lidia's Kansas City, in Kansas City. And Midwesterners know about pork ribs.
They love ribs.
Yeah? Any style?
Any style, beef, pork, they love them all.
Great. Well, we have different ones because I really want you to know that you have different options with pork ribs. These are the regular, the pork ribs that you get maybe in a Chinese place, just cut up. This is the whole rib slab. Then there is the baby back ribs, and these are great because they have a lot of meat.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite.
You like that?
I like this.
Yeah. I mean, I just love picking on those bones. Yeah. And the ribs, actually, this is the whole shebang here, is the ribs on top of the fat, the belly fat that wraps the ribs, of which bacon is made. So all of these things, they're very in close proximity and wonderful taste. So maybe, Cody, we can just make some space. Thanks, Cody. What we'll use with the pork ribs that I'm doing, and we'll serve it with pasta, we'll serve it just off the bone. We are using the country style pork ribs. So I'll just season it, and we have, what you want for this is a nice heavy skillet because this is a braising technique. Now, Cody, we've done this together many times.
Yes.
And it is one of the favorites in Kansas City at our restaurant, is it not?
It is. We've done it with stuffed peppers, with rigatoni. We glaze them with vinegar and honey. That's a really nice one, too.
But I think what really they like is when we do them with the pasta, and that's how I like them, is cooking them like this and
then taking the meat off the bone.
So we really need to get that caramelization on that meat. You know, that's what gives it all the flavors. And Cody is really doing that. It's nice and caramelized. And then we'll put all the flavorings in. The meat is caramelized, and in the same pan with all those little drippings, we're going to make the sauce. And we're going to begin by rendering some bacon. To that, of course, one of the elements I always add is dry porcini, which have been reconstituted in hot stock. And we'll just pick them right out. How's the bacon doing?
Oh, it's almost there.
Good. All right. And we'll pass the stock through a coffee filter, just in case. Sometimes there's some grit on the bottom of the mushrooms, so we want to avoid that, and we want to use that. Let me add the onions now, and the onions chopped very fine. Go ahead, you can just pull them down. Good. We let that wilt, and just give myself some space. I will chop the porcini. Okay, I think we can add a little bit of celery. And you know, it's the traditional celery, carrots, and onions that you do in a braising process. And what you want is all of these elements to really melt into the sauce and become part of the sauce. Let's put some of the carrots, shredded carrots, and I shred them because, again, I want them to disintegrate in the sauce. You know, I have to tell you the story how I got to Kansas City. Now, Kansas City is smack in the middle of USA. A great city, really, really wonderful people. And as Joe, my son, came into the restaurant business, we wanted to expand, of course. He wanted the all-American expansion story, whatever. We went to Kansas City. We opened this, and we are down by the train station. It's beautiful. And now that's all revived, is it not?
Yes, it was actually a freight station, a warehouse, and now then it's all come back to life. It was all empty when we started.
Right, and we could say that we sort of initiated, but now it's sort of the artsy part of town.
Yes, all the galleries. The streets are packed with people. It's a lot of fun.
It's really a fun town, and they love to eat there. They love to have a good time. Cody, all this Midwest talk. You're from the Midwest?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Arkansas originally, which maybe that's considered the South. It's close.
Sort of in between there. And were you born on the farm? What?
Yeah, I was born on a ranch in Arkansas. It was a cattle ranch.
So you were into food.
Yes.
And your passion for food, because I know you're a musician by education.
Yes, but there's such great food growing up at home. My mom's a great country cook. And, you know, we always had really great ingredients.
But you have a real sensitivity to food.
Yeah, it comes from those first flavors, I think, that you have when you're growing up.
The fundamentals,
yes.
When you're sort of in your formative years and those things enter your mind and they just never leave you. They haunt you, they stay with you. I know just how you feel, because that's what happened to me. So let me put a little bit of rosemary, okay, a few bay leaves, and these are the fresh bay leaves that I have in my backyard, but dry bay leaves will do just as well. Use less fresh leaves because they're more intense than the dry. And I think I'll put the porcinis now. The porcinis are those mushrooms that I've cut and chopped. Now, Cody, do you think?
Changes it instantly. You put that in there.
Everything. But you know what's coming up now? It's sort of each individual. You smell the rosemary, you smell the bay leaves, you smell the porcini, you smell the onion. And then the culmination of it all is when it becomes all one harmony. Just like in a great composition, a big harmony of all the sounds together. All right. Do you think we should put a little bit of salt?
I would put a little, just a little.
Just a little. Okay, just a pinch of salt. Okay. And we'll let that caramelize. And you know, as I always tell you, that I like to caramelize every step of the way. And this is tomato paste, the concentration of tomato, which really brings out or accents the flavor of tomato, and this time gives color. This corner right here, I think I like my hot spot.
Oh, over here? Okay.
Right there, because it's closer to me, so I can control it. So you take a spoonful. So, okay, right here. It's okay. That's it. Let it caramelize nice. And then we'll begin to add the meat, the liquid, and all of the other goodies. The beautiful part for me is really being, at this point, a mentor. That all these 35 years, what I've accumulated, sort of transcends, goes on to the next generation, people like Cody and others that we have. We have a great team. And this is the future of Italian cooking in America. Right here, you're looking at it. Okay. So did I share this with you before, a little orange rind in this one?
Oh, please do. I don't know if we've done that before. We've done it with ossobuco, things like that.
Okay. But I'm going to use that technique right here. Just a few. The peel of, I think the whole orange might be too much, but just like that, maybe the peels of half an orange. You think that's enough? Yeah. Now the tomato paste has begun to caramelize, and now we can begin with the liquids. And this is the liquid where the porcinis were soaked in. That's all flavor that we're going to add into that. We can begin to put the ribs right back in there. And I think we just blast the fire, and let's put some wine. Go ahead, Cody. You can take the wine. Just a good wine to cook with all the time. It doesn't have to be the top of the line. I think that's I think that's enough of wine. Do you want a little more, no? Yeah? Okay, good. Whenever you cook with wine, first of all, you use good wine. Good enough to drink. Doesn't have to be the best. But it's great when you save. You know, sometimes you don't finish a bottle of wine. Doesn't happen often to me, but sometimes. Sometimes, that's it. Collect all the drippings, they're delicious. And so you save what you didn't drink and you use that for cooking. Let the alcohol sort of bubble out. Okay, why don't you give it a little mix, some more. You think the alcohol came out yet?
Still smell a little.
Yeah? Okay. Hold on to this.
Okay.
Too many times I get burned. You know, I have asbestos fingers, they call me here, because I touch, but they're really nice and gentle. It's just that they're tough. Okay.
Okay.
I think so. Okay. So why don't we put just enough stock, and whenever you cook, you want the temperature to continue. Because if you add cold stock, you're just stopping everything. Now here you're trying to extract all the flavors, and if you put something cold in there, you're stopping that and you have to restart. It's just like restarting your engine continuously. So make sure that whatever you're putting in there, it's nice and hot. You put enough to cover all of the meat. Let's get the cover. And just a little bit of jar, I always put that. And you just let it perk away now like this. Come back to it, check it periodically until it begins to really fall off the bone. The sauce is ready, and Cody's going to come back and we'll taste it. So I'm going to put the pasta to cook and a nice pot of boiling water, salted boiling water. And in this case, we're putting rigatoni. Just mix it and leave it ajar just a little bit so it doesn't overflow all over your stove. And we'll dress the rigatoni with this sauce. And this is the ribs that we cooked and cooked and cooked until they were soft and tender, just like this. And then you just break it into shreds, just off the bone. You see the bone becomes clean, clean, clean. Everything, that's this pata. Now be careful because there are little chine bones. They're called chine bones, these little bones attached, so that they don't end up in your pasta. You shred this like this. Let me just throw the bones right away. Okay. And this all goes into the sauce of cooking. And we'll toss the pasta right into here, and it's the most delicious thing you ever tasted. While the pasta is cooking, a nice side vegetables, and you know how I feel about vegetables. I love vegetables. And I love the sulfur family vegetables, of which one of them is the cauliflower. Cut off the green part. Although these soft leaves are good also too, especially when you're boiling them. Of course, you wash it before, and then you just sort of cut it in half, in quarters again, and then you begin to cut the core out. In the meantime, just let me put some olive oil and garlic. Sliced garlic. And cut it like little florets or in slices. Okay. When the garlic is golden, just put them right in there like that. And if they have a little bit of the water that you wash the cauliflower in, that's perfectly fine. Actually, you want a little bit of water. We will add a little bit of water to give it that little zest, a little peperoncino. and season it with salt. I will add just a little bit of water here, and I happen to have hot pasta water, so that's fine. Otherwise, regular water will do. You cover this and you lower the flame, and it will steam cook, and then you bring it back down until all the water is gone and it begins to caramelize. So it is cooked, and then the caramelization is just perfect. Now let me see the sauce here. Add a little bit more of the sauce because we have a pound of pasta. This is the shreds of the meat. Just a little bit. Okay. A little more for the rigatoni. When the rigatoni are done, we'll just toss them and be finished. Okay, the rigatoni are done, and let's just dump them right into the sauce. Right into the sauce. I want to fish all of them out. I think we've got them. All right. So toss them, just let them finish cooking in the sauce. Let the sauce get into the pasta so everything is flavored. I think I'm going to do just a little drizzle of olive oil. See, there's a little too much sauce. I'm gonna just wait until it cooks into the pasta, and there's just enough sauce left to coat each rigatoni. Shut this off. Let's bring it right here. Put some cheese, always cheese off the fire. You don't add cheese while you're still cooking. Let me just give it. Wow. So you can see how, you can make a big pot, you get a lot of meat, a lot of condiments. So if you have that extended family or the in-laws of everybody, 20, 30, not uncommon in my house, this is a great dish. You might need 2 of these skillets. This looks perfect. In a nice platter, warm platter always. Yeah, and try to sort of spread the meat around a little bit, even though it tends to cluster. Okay. Wow. Well, this is great. Cody's going to come back, so I'm going to leave a little bit in the pan. I like eating out of the pan. We'll taste it. Let me, just a little bit of cheese. Just a little bit like that. Perfecto. Now let me check on the cauliflower. Okay, the cauliflower is nice and caramelized. You see, it's just attaching to the pan slightly, and that's how you want it. So let me serve that. Nice warm platter for that also. And this goes. Every little bit of it. And now, those same ribs that we shredded, I like just picking them off the bone, just like that, and have fun with them at the table. That looks good. Let me just grab some sauce. Okay. One more piece, one more little piece or big piece. Right on top here. Okay, I think we're ready for company. Cody, where were you? Were you messing with those ribs in the back?
Yeah.
I was looking for you.
Making plans for those ribs in the
You
bag.
were.
So.
Good, good, good. And I left the pot because us in the kitchen, chef, I think the best part is, I think you eat most of your meals. Tell them how we eat our meals.
Standing up.
And?
On the run, in a hurry.
Out of a sauté pan.
Yes.
A bite here and a bite there. And the beauty of it is there's a certain energy. There's a certain something that happens in the kitchen, right? When the going is good and whatever, and everybody's a team. How do you feel?
It all clicks, so it's almost like a high. It's just a rush. And you know you're making all those people happy, and it feels really good.
It does, it does. That's why we stay there. It's a tough industry, but we love it and we stay there. And we want to teach you some of the things that we do there, and these are two of the dishes. And I think I would like to taste it.
Yeah, I think it's time too here.
Cut it up a little bit. So you wouldn't feel too unfamiliar.
No.
I left it in the pan. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm going to pour a little bit of vino. And this is tawarasi. I think it's going to go excellent with these ribs. Okay, so now, which one? You know, I like, everybody goes maybe for the medium. You see, am I picking your pieces?
Yeah, you're We look for the same things in this. It's delicious.
This is good. I've forgotten how good it was. I haven't had it in a while. Tell them all the herbs or whatever you're tasting there. What are you tasting? Because I know what I'm tasting.
Well, you get a little, in the background, there's a little of the bay leaf and some rosemary. The rosemary's really almost at the finish. That's really nice. Without the onions and the celery and the carrots, the sweetness wouldn't be there. It's all there. You have to have all those things.
My
and then
favorite
porcini,
ingredient?
the earthy, yes, always there.
Okay. I want to try a little bit of the cauliflower.
Thank you so much.
And of course, you need to wash it all down with that. So, chin chin.
Chin chin.
And as we say every time I meet you, at the end, I invite you. Tutti a tavola a mangiare. And this time is with me and Cody Hogan. One for me, one for you. All right. Good job, Cody.